Welcome to another episode of the Ultimate Freedom Teachings video series.
Hey, Robert here. Welcome to yet another edition of Friday Q&As. Now, I actually had another question planned that I was going to answer today. And then, over the last 5 days, the same question came in through different channels and in different ways 5 times. And so I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to answer that question. And here's the question. On my website, there are several options for what I call online experiences of sharing the teachings and me being able to support you in knocking out cloud cover and experiencing more and more of the truth of who you really are and transforming your life. That's what the mission is all about. Now I language it as supporting people in awakening ultimate freedom. So there are 2 online experiences that are available. And then there's also a live event that's a 5-day live experience that usually takes place here at my home, but I have done it in other places around the world and probably will continue to. And they all have what you might call higher expressions of appreciation in the form of money attached to them. And so the question that came in 5 times, and this has come in a lot over the years, but it just was in a bigger dose while I was focusing on Friday Q&As, was, okay, Robert, I really want this Phase 3 Ultimate Freedom experience. I really want to knock out the cloud cover. And by the way, if you're watching this and you don't know what knocking out the cloud cover means, you're going to see a little banner appearing on your screen right now. If you go to that link, you can register to get a free email video training that will ground you in the basic concepts of the teachings and open your eyes and do a lot of cool things. So, I want to knock out the cloud cover, and preferably as quickly as possible. And I'd like to do this event at your house, this 5-day live event with you in person at your house. I'd like to do the Ultimate Key to Freedom online. I'd love to do the True Prosperity and Abundance thing, but I don't have the money. I can't afford it right now, whatever the language is. And sometimes people use the language from the Busting Loose Phase 2 teachings of I just can't express appreciation in the form of money at that particular level at this point in time kind of a thing. So then they say, all right, so what can I do? What can I do to support the knocking out of cloud cover if I don't have the money right now to do those experiences? So the way I look at things, my bias, most questions, there's multiple layers to the answer. So let's go through some of the different layers. And these aren't in any particular order. It's just coming out as it comes out as things come to me. So the first thing I want to share is my bias is there is nothing random, there is nothing accidental in anything that happens in our lives. And my bias is if there's something that you have a desire to do that requires money, and the money is not there to do it at the moment that you have the desire, or if you have the desire over a longer period of time and the money isn't there over a longer period of time, then, lack of a better term, you weren't meant to do it. You weren't meant to do it then, or you weren't meant to do it at all. Because my bias is when something in our lives, what I call our stories, needs to get funded, if money's needed and it needs to get funded, it gets funded. And it gets funded in normal, expected ways. It gets funded in weird, unexpected ways. But it gets funded. So if there's a desire for something and the money isn't there to do it, then it's not the time, it's not your path, it's not for you, period, or not right then. So perhaps that helps at that preliminary level to the answer to the question. If it was really part of your story, if it was really part of your life to participate in one of these other things that I offer that people talk about, the more expensive things using money game language, the money would be there. It would show up somehow. So if it's not, relax, take it easy. It's not a problem. It's not bad. There's not something wrong with you. It just isn't your time or it isn't your path, one of the two. So that's the first thing I want to say. And that can change at any time. So the next thing to say is, that's the truth to me, that's the reality to me, and it can change on a dime. You can have the desire today to want to do one of these things that I offer or something else in your life that has nothing to do with me, and the money isn't there, and the money isn't there, and the money isn't there, and then all of a sudden one day you wake up in the morning, you have a desire to participate in one of these things that I'm offering, and all of a sudden it gets funded in my language. The money shows up and you find yourself doing it at a time and when it's the best thing and the best timing, whatever, for your story, for it to happen that way. So that's the first thing I want to share. Now, going to a more literal level to the answer to your question. What can you do if the money is not available, if you cannot express appreciation in the form of money for doing one of these other things that I offer? Then the alternatives are, number one, if you're watching this video on my blog, if you look to the upper right corner, and you'll see an image of this on your screen right now, you can subscribe to the blog to get automatic notifications of when I add something. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get automatic notifications anytime a video is added. So my suggestion would be, ultimately anything that shows up on YouTube ends up showing up on my blog. So there isn't any need to do both. And if it works for you in terms of how you do things, some other things might be available on the blog, transcripts, audio files, other kinds of things. So if it works for you, my number one recommendation would be subscribe to the blog, or if you don't want to subscribe, check it every week. Go to YouTube every week and see what's new on the channel that I have there, the Ultimate Freedom Teachings channel. So that would be the first recommendation. If you have not read, you're watching this video and you have not read a Busting Loose from the Money Game or a Busting Loose from the Business Game book, and you don't need to get both. You can. They're kind of variations on a theme. One is more focused on if you're a business owner or business is a big part of your life, and the other one is for everybody because everybody deals with money in the modern world. Get one of those books and read it. If you have one of those books already and you've read it, read it again. That would be the other thing that I would invite you to do. The next thing that I would invite you to do is go to my website. If you look to the bottom of the page on my website, you'll see some text links. And one of them says Connect. And if you click on Connect, you'll go to a page with a variety of ways that you can connect with me. And one of the ways that you can connect with me is to join the Phase 2 Players List. So if you are aware of the Phase 2 Busting Loose teachings from something you've done, read a book, whatever else it is, join that list because you'll get other things that'll come automatically, including Q&A and support and other kinds of things that I've done to help other people that are on that path. So that would be the second thing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to my blog, or just go there every week and check out what's there. If you haven't read a Busting Loose book, read a Busting Loose book. If you have read a Busting Loose book, read it again. Things very often change, and it appeared one way when you read it the first time, it appears another way. Go down on my website to connect, join the Phase 2 Players List, subscribe to the Friday Awakening, my newsletter. You'll also see that on the Connect page if you're not, because there'll be a steady stream of these videos and other things that'll come every week through the Friday Awakening newsletter. If you have not read the book, The Ultimate Key to Happiness, again, expression of appreciation in the form of money, not real high, but that's the only book that's available right now that starts you down the path of what I call the Phase 3 Ultimate Freedom Teachings. So I would suggest get that book and read it. If you have it and you read it, read it again. There ultimately will be an Ultimate Key to Freedom book, but I don't know when, and a book can only do so much. A multimedia or live experience can do so much more, but there will be an Ultimate Freedom book. So if you're watching this video, check in Amazon, check in my store on the book page and see if there's an Ultimate Key to Freedom book. At some point there will be, and then I would say read that. And if you subscribe to the blog, or you subscribe to the YouTube channel, or you connect with that Phase 2 Players List, which will give you a steady stream of support, you read the books that you haven't read, you reread the books that you have read. We're not talking about a lot of money here. It should be within anybody's budget, particularly if they're committed and they're serious about wanting to knock out cloud cover. They're serious about wanting to make the leap into Phase 3, if they're serious about wanting to experience ultimate freedom. And then, as I said, just watch it day to day. Excuse me, because the money might show up. And one day there'll be the desire to do da-da-da-da that's available on my website, whether it's something that's new or it's something that's been there for a while. And then the money will show up and you'll go, wow, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I haven't been able to. All of a sudden the desire surfaced today and the money just came in and through this normal expected or weird unexpected way. And so now I'm going to go do it. And then the last thing I'll leave you with here is, again, I talk a lot more about this in the Phase 2 Busting Loose teachings, and definitely in the Ultimate Key to Freedom teachings, the Ultimate Freedom teachings. And again, you'll see this banner to get the free training, email, video training about all of this if you're not familiar with it. My bias is, as I said, no accidents, nothing's random. There's a plan, there's a story, you have a mission, you have a purpose. And what's going on now is the perfect support for your unique story right now. And if you look at the movies that we watch and love, you look at the novels that we read and love, you look at the TV shows that we love, you look at, if you happen to, and I just mentioned this because my son, my 13-year-old at the time of this son, is really into video games, so if you're into video games, there are stories that unfold in all of these places, and characters have things that they want, and they start moving towards something that they want, and they encounter obstacles, and they have to overcome obstacles, and there's resistance, and it looks like they're getting somewhere, and then there's a setback, and there's all these things that are what make great stories. And so whatever's going on in your life right now is what's been written in your story. It's the perfect support for your story. And if the perfect support for your story was to knock out all the cloud cover right now, that's what would be happening. If it was for you to be participating in one of these experiences I offer, or other things I'm sure you want to do that have nothing to do with me, that the money isn't there for, the perfect support for your unique story is for you not to be doing those things right now. And if it changes, it changes. And so that's the best answer that I can give you. I was quiet for many, many years. At the time of this recording, it's the end of July 2015, and for many years I was pretty quiet. I did the courses that I did, and I did the support and the coaching that I did as part of those things, and I did the live events, but I wasn't creating a lot of videos like this. And I had a podcast, but I wasn't adding much to it, and I had YouTube channel, but I wasn't adding much to it. And I'm in a mode now in mid 2015 of sharing an awful lot of stuff that has nothing to do with the courses or events or anything that you have to express appreciation in the form of money for. So it's a great time for someone that's struggling with that, because there's going to be a steady stream, if you do one or more of the things that I just talked about, of getting support, of getting help, including if you don't have the funds, as it appears at what I call the story level right now, to do one of the other things that I offer that you might have a desire to do. So, cool. That's the end of this Friday Q&A. I'll see you next time. Have a great day, night, evening, morning, weekend, whatever, depending on when you're watching this. Bye-bye. I'll look forward to our next contact, whatever shape that takes.
If you'd like to get more information on what you just discovered, go ahead and click on the Learn More button that you'll see appearing in a few seconds.